Welcome to the Global Racing Arca Series League Week 7 playoff round race number 2. We are here at Pocono Raceway. My name is Joshua Slade and I am joined in the booth today by the one and only Ronald Holmes. Ronald, how are you doing today?
I'm doing outstanding. Thank you for having me in the booth, sir.
No problem. If you guys aren't familiar, Ronald Holmes is our Global Racing League Truck Series driver on who's currently now racing with Grim Reaper Motorsports.
Yes, I am lucky enough to be involved with such a great racing team who will be new to the truck series this year, but a lot of familiar names in the league that created their own team, and I am lucky enough to be involved.
Yes, all right. So good there. Now we are currently in the middle of qualifying, and last week was a very exciting week. We saw Chad McGinley take home the win last week, and Donnie Honeycutt, who's currently qualifying right now, I believe, or just finished qualifying. And who do we have up right now? We have Adam Thompson that's currently on the track right now, who is right now who ran a 55.18 his last lap. Currently, who we have on pole right now is DJ Honeycutt right now with a 54.793. Man, that is fast.
That is very impressively fast. And Bobby Mantle coming in at second with a 54.825. That's not too shabby either.
And you know what? Guess who we have in here racing today? We have a Jason Schilling sighting in that 95 car. He is out here racing today, and look for him to be out on the track and wanting to put together a good race. And that's gonna do it for our qualifying, and we will bring up the grid. And first place we have we have DJ Honeycutt in first, followed by Bobby Mantle in second, Stephen Hayes third, Bradley Miner fourth, fifth place Donnie Honeycutt, sixth place Adam Thompson, seventh place Tyler Honeycutt, eighth place Michael Hayes, ninth place John Howard, and 10th place Chad McGinley.
And 11th, we have Mark Sherwood. And 12th, we have JJ McCoy, another Grim Reaper brother for the trucks. Ron Harrington in 13th. Awesome painter, by the way. In 14th, we have Carlos Henriquez. 15th, Michael Dow. 16th, the aforementioned Jason Schilling. And then 17th, we have Chase Albright.
Chase Albright, who elected not to qualify. We'll see how this pays off in the long run.
Now, what is their average? How many laps of fuel can they get per run? Do you know?
So let's believe that these guys will be able to make it almost 40 laps, 40 to 50 laps on fuel, give or take. So we'll see how that will do. Looking to have a one-stop race. And now let's take a look at the race info tonight. So yeah, this is a 2.5 mile track. They call it the trick. They call this track the Tricky Triangle. This is a very hard track to master. Right now, the current temperature is 98 degrees. Or disregard, the current temperature is 81 degrees with the 61% humidity, cloudy, and 10 miles per hour winds. So it's gonna be a very 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 good race today. And
With the
and Ronald, what do you think the keys to tonight's race is gonna be for these drivers?
What I'm telling you, I think the long run, maybe the way to pay off. I don't know if it's gonna be the if there's many cautions. It could be one or two cautions could be the key to a one, maybe two stop victory here.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. To me, my key is guys who can save tires, and one thing is, turn two is a very, very tricky turn for a lot of these drivers, and I feel like whoever can master and be more consistent going into turn two each and every time, and hit that consistent, uh, good exit on turn two is gonna be our driver of the day.
What are your keys to saving tires here?
You know, this track will it will tear up your tires. You will burn up your tires so easily on this track. So one thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're backing up your corners and getting off the accelerators before you go into these turns. Because I feel like like that's just going to be the most consistent way to save your tires. But we will see.
Absolutely, I think whoever can manage that the best will definitely earn their way to the victory lane.
Yes, sir. As we are about to go green. And oh, Stephen Hayes almost has little contact with with DJ Honeycutt. Bobby Mantle's able to get a huge run on the outside line going into turn one.
Wow, was there a check up there, or was it just slow going?
I don't think DJ Honeycutt even decided to go, and a huge check up there.
That got a huge gap. Oh, number 7 just had to check up a little bit. Looks.
Oh, JJ McCoy. And he's being pressured right now by Mark Sherwood for the battle of P12. And he's taking that high line there. Got pretty tight going on there, and he is not off to a good start so far. I'll tell you who is off to a good start, Carlos Henriquez. He's already up 3 positions since the start.
I'm gonna tell you, it almost feels like Bobby Mantel's almost checked out though from the rest of the pack. I mean, he's got almost a 1-second lead so far.
Yes, he's up to almost a 1-second lead now, and he's been very strong during practice. And one thing about Bobby is he's gonna bring it. And one thing you can never count on Bobby. Bobby has yet to win a race in the Arca season so far, and he's looking to have a statement race this week after a not so good of a performance last week. And now, Ronald, who is your driver to watch tonight? Who's that driver that you think is gonna bring it home tonight?
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm kind of partial to 3 of the drivers in here tonight. Obviously, being part of Grim Reaper, Bobby Mantel, Chad McGinley, and JJ McCoy. I mean, I gotta tell you, I think JJ McCoy may be the one to watch here. I mean, you think he's losing spots right now, but maybe later. I mean, he's just watching his stuff. You know what I mean? So he may get better and start passing people later in the run.
Yeah, JJ McCoy's he's been very, very dominant this league so far throughout the season, and he's definitely going to be one to watch. I would say 2 drivers I have here is I can never count out Donnie Honeycutt. Donnie Honeycutt has been Mr. Consistent all season, and he just knows how to be there at the end of a race. And even when you think he's not doing well, he's just saving his tire that much better than these guys. And so he's able to be there at the end of the race. another driver who I feel like is gonna have a good race is that 81 of Carlos Enriquez. He's right now battling with John Howard for that P10 spot, and he's looking to make a move on the inside.
Wow, that was very impressive. They gave each other room and everything. They understand the concept. You can't win it on the first lap, sort of deal.
Exactly. If you don't remember last week, these two drivers ended up getting into each other last week and bringing out a caution. So we're nice to see that these drivers are able to get around each other very, very respectfully this week, as John Howard is under fire yet again from the 44 of Mark Sherwood.
Yeah, he's definitely got the inner line there, and here comes JJ McCoy right up behind him.
For your driver to watch.
You know, another driver to watch, you know, he's been, you know, in my book, pretty consistent throughout the year is Ron Harrington. You know, he's had a couple top 5s, couple top 10s. I mean, you know, he bides his time in the back, but he definitely gets going in, you know, at the end and gets where he needs to go.
Yes, Ron Harrington has been a very, very strong driver, and with him coming in that top 5 in the first race at Daytona, was a very, very, very strong stable, and he's built on that throughout recent weeks. So, yes, Ron Harrington looking to have a good finish, as right now he's running P14.
Yeah, he's definitely, you know, you can tell the way he's driving, he's buying his time, but you know, they'll get up there eventually. I mean, I'm sure the leader's tires will start to wear off at some point, and these guys will start passing, as JJ McCoy is yet trying to pass another person.
And he's looking to the inside of John Howard for that P11 spot. And I'll tell you what, John Howard is under fire right now. He's already down 3 positions from start.
Yeah,
he's looking to catch a break.
Yeah, he's getting it from everybody.
And that's just the worst thing. Sometimes you just got to let these drivers go by and say, hey, I'll catch you on the long run.
You know, but I mean, oh, it looks like he got a little loose there too. So, I mean, is he trying too hard to try to keep up? So, he's wearing his tires out now at this point? Because he's really under fire now from John Howard.
Yes, he's... Mark Sherwood is just being relentless right now to John Howard. And one thing I want to keep in mind right now, Bobby Mantle was almost out to a 1 second lead. Right now he's already down to a half a second lead. As you see him taking that low line, trying to break the draft from DJ Honeycutt and the rest of the pack. And that's one thing you don't want to do as a driver, is you want to understand that, hey, if I'm up to a huge lead in the beginning of a race, I'm probably not doing something right, and these guys are probably saving tire behind me. And right now, DJ Honeycutt and the rest of the field are starting to hunt Bobby Mantle down. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, we don't know if Bobby's letting up a little bit, so they're catching up, but at the same time, you don't know if he's running hard either, you know? So
as we look for a second place battle, right now Stephen Hayes looking on the inside of DJ Honeycutt, and I'll tell you what, Bobby Mantle is loving that. And oh, DJ Honeycutt looking for the crossover. Be careful, because that's going to give Bradley Minor, the 46, some time to get up to these guys. And I'll tell you what, these guys don't want to race that hard right now, because that's going to give Bobby Mantle time to pull away. So we'll see if these guys get it together and stay in line.
Now, from what I understand earlier, we want to give a special shout out to somebody.
Yes. So the father of John Howard, he says that his father watches our races each and every week, and we thank you for that. Billy Howard, we thank you for watching each and every week. We wanted to give a special shout out to you. Your son in that 78 car, he's been putting together phenomenal races. He is very, 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 very fast in the trucks, and he's looking to have a very, very good season come February for his second season in the Global Racing Arca Series truck in the Global Racing Truck Series. So look forward to seeing your son racing on Sunday evenings and competing for a championship throughout the year.
I hope we didn't just put a hex on him, but look out, here comes Stephen Hayes up behind Bobby Mantle.
Oh, yes. And I'll tell you what, that's what I told you. You just don't want to burn your tires up too quick. Unfortunately, that looks like that's what Bobby Mantle might have done. And now Stephen Hayes is already to his rear, and he's peeking on the inside. Is Bobby going to let him have it, or is he going to race him? If I'm Bobby Mantle, I'm going to pinch him down and make sure I'm going to make this pass as difficult as possible so he can burn up some rubber.
Oh, absolutely. And Bobby's doing the right thing right now. I mean, he's holding his line. He's doing what he's got to do, and he's going to make him. If he's going to pass him, he's going to have to earn it.
And if you look at it, Bobby coming out of turn 3 took a defensive line to the inside. So he's telling Stephen Hayes, like, hey, if you're going to go ahead and pass me, you're not going to do it on the inside. You will have to pass me on the outside.
That is a very tricky thing to do, especially on this track, if you want to pass somebody on the outside.
Yes, because you can't really block too much in these cars. All you can, with your bumper, all you can really do is just pinch and force up. But we will see how Stephen Hayes is able to maneuver. As right now, Bradley Minor is giving DJ Honeycutt some trouble. Wow, he's able to fall back in line.
Stephen Hayes got such a huge run off turn 4 there.
And he's to the inside, and we might have a new leader. We'll see. Going into turn 1, side by side, Stephen Hayes and Bobby Mantle. We'll see that they will stay side by side on the backstretch. Going into turn 2, the tunnel turn. Oh, Stephen Hayes is going to fall in line.
Oh, wow. Now, technical question I don't know much about, especially on this track. Does drafting have a lot to do here, or because I see the 15 just, DJ come up quick on there on Stephen Hayes.
Yeah. Yes, the draft has a lot to do. This is a very aero-dependent track, so you don't want to take any damage. And Stephen Hayes getting a huge draft on Bobby Mantle's bumper, and he's going to try again to go down and send it on the inside and going into turn 1. As they get very close going into turn 1, Bobby gets shifted up the track, and Stephen Hayes is going to take that spot from Bobby Mantle on the exit of turn 1.
Well, he's in the lead for now, but when it comes to the checkered line, who's going to actually lead the lap?
Exactly. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how many laps you lead. Bobby's in the wall. And that's what happens. That's what happens when Bobby, that was his first time racing in dirty air. And Steven with a huge mistake, and DJ Honeycutt with a huge run on the inside coming on to turn 3. And we have a battle, and the gloves are off. The gloves are off.
Here comes Bobby back on the inside. The leaders better look out, because here comes Bradley Minor and Donnie Honeycutt. As you were saying earlier, they ain't much people behind them.
Yes, they're racing very hard, and that's giving Michael Hayes and Adam Thompson time to catch up. And right now we have a 7-car. We almost have a 7-car battle. Right now we have a 7-car pack. So this is going to be very interesting to see how things turn out here. As DJ Honeycutt is in the lead, and he's starting to separate himself. I don't know what happened to Stephen Hayes, but he's just fell back after he made that pass on Bobby Mantle.
Yeah, it's almost like DJ's, trying to pull a Bobby Mantle earlier where he had checked out. Now DJ's trying to check out.
And that's one thing about DJ Honeycutt is. He's going to save his tires. He's a expert at saving his tires, and especially in these Arca cars, because he is our Arca Series champion.
Now, we were talking earlier, the fuel mileage. Could Bobby be trying to play the fuel mileage and do this in one stop?
I think that's going to be the key today, is that one stop. If you've seen in the recent weeks, one stop has been the way to go. I mean, if we keep it green throughout the race, as right now, Stephen Hayes is back, and Bobby Mantle are continue to battle with each other for that P2 position. Right now, if we look at it, we also have another battle here. Michael Hayes is under fire. Michael Hayes is giving Bradley Minor a lot of racing, so we'll see. He's to the inside, and Bradley Minor to it with a good run. Michael Hayes gets a little bit tight in there, and they're almost 3 wide for a second. Adam Thompson to the inside of Michael, taking advantage of that mistake. He's going to have to come up the track entering that tunnel turn, or he's going to be in huge trouble. And he doesn't come up the track, and that's going to be very, very big for... And, yep, he's going to get crossed over by Michael Hayes now. And Michael Hayes is going to concede, as we have Tyler Honeycutt and Donnie Honeycutt battling for that P7 position. Nothing like father-son racing.
Yeah, and right behind them, you got 2 wide going in the 4, coming out towards the line. You got Chad McGinley and Carlos. That's another tight race.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of racing going on up here. As we had the front pack was racing, was very bunched up, but now it's starting to straighten each other out. And now it looks like Stephen Hayes has just caught another burst of speed, and he is to the rear of DJ Honeycutt. And how would DJ Honeycutt hold him off? I tell you what, if I'm DJ Honeycutt, I'm gonna use Stephen Hayes up. I'm gonna make him use up all his tires trying to make that pass.
Oh, absolutely. Pull the old Dale Earnhardt Sr. trick and rear view mirror him as best I could.
Exactly, because one thing is, like, hey, if you're gonna pass me, you're not passing me on the inside, you're gonna pass me on the outside. So we'll see if DJ's able to make that happen. As we have a 3-car battle here going on here between Adam Thompson, Bradley Minor, and Michael Hayes. And it looks like Tyler Honeycutt's trying to make his way in the mix now. That's another strong driver you can't count out, who's looking to have a good race after a struggle last week from Tyler. He's made his way into the top 7, so we'll see how he's able to keep up with the rest of the pack.
I tell you, those 4 cars, 5 almost, they could link up and, like you said, draft each other right back up there to the leaders. We could have us a real race and a real mix-up.
Exactly. And looks like, we have another battle for second place, as Bobby Mantle is not giving up, and he's going to go to the inside of Stephen Hayes. Before you even get into turn 1, Stephen Hayes is going to try to cross him over. And I think Bobby Mantle is just pushing his car a little bit too hard as he almost hits the wall coming out of turn 1.
Almost like he's drifting around the turn.
Yeah, and now Steven's going to try to cross him over going into turn 2. And he will get that run coming off. But, Bobby's going to try to attempt the crossover, and we have some racing going on here. And you know who loves to see that? DJ Honeycutt.
Yes. DJ is absolutely loving this. Now, you think there's a chance? Is there a chance that Bobby and Steven can work together to get back up to DJ?
We'll see. I'll tell you what. If I'm Stephen Hayes, I'm telling Bobby. I want to say to Bobby, why are you racing me so hard? When we just have to save each other's tires and make it our way till the end. But doesn't seem like these guys are gonna conserve here. They're gonna go all out for it. And I'll tell you what, Bobby did the same thing last week with not conserving his tires and pushing it, and ended up hurting himself in the long run. As he pushes Stephen Hayes up the track a little bit, and he's able to, it forces Stephen Hayes just to check up a little bit so he doesn't hit the wall, and he's able to clear himself for that P2 position.
Yeah, I've heard of pinching a person down, but I've never really seen them pinch them up. But that's impressive. You know, that to me that's kudos to both drivers to be able to have control like that too, though. You know, I mean, with Bobby kind of pinching him up towards the wall, and you know, Steven knowing enough to let off a little bit to be able to stay where he's at.
10-4. As we're looking at this battle right now, 3-car battle for P6 right now. Bradley Minor has been under a lot of fire, but he's able to waver the fire of Tyler and Donnie and hold on to that P6.
Well, I tell you, I mean, the leaders are having fun, but you know, if you're looking back towards the back, you got Jason Schilling. He's hunting down Ron Harrington right now.
Yes, he is. Jason Schilling, that 95. He's looking to have a good race as well. He hasn't raced that much throughout the season, but when we do have him, it's always good sighting to see him. He is a 2-time Truck Series driver.
I see the track temperature has jumped up to 102. You think that has a lot to deal with some of the drifting aspect of these corners?
So yeah, I mean, typically with all the rubber that's being laid down and the high track temps, this track is cooking, and these cars tend to get more on the tight side. As we have another battle here between Tyler Honeycutt and Bradley Minor. And is Tyler going to be able to clear himself? We will see as they will go side by side into the tunnel turn. Bradley, who's going to have a huge run.
I feel kind of bad, for John Howard. I feel like we put the hex on him. He's way in the back in 15th. He's got no drafting partner, and almost feels like we put a hex on him.
Almost. I'll tell you what, in recent weeks, John Howard has been struggling ever since Bristol, where he was off to a very good start. He hasn't really been able to put together a solid race from start to finish. But I know he's going to be looking to bounce back at Concord if he can just manage to put together a good race today and hold on till Concord.
Well, and maybe it's just me. Maybe he's safe and everything, to do this on a one stop.
And 4, yeah. We'll see. That would be a very good strategy. Maybe he's just trying to get it all on one stop.
It's tough. I mean, these guys are being great competitors, and they're definitely racing each other clean.
I'll tell you what, these top 3 cannot get away from each other as Bobby Mantle is starting to close the gap on DJ Honeycutt. It's just like these guys cannot get away from each other. And let's go through our top 10. So right now we have DJ Honeycutt in first, followed by Bobby Mantle in second. P3 is going to be Stephen Hayes. P4, Adam Thompson, who's looking to have a fantastic race. After he had a little bit of a rough race last week, he's looking to have a good race today. Michael Hayes is in a P5 position. He's looking to rebound too. He had 2 awesome weeks the last 2 weeks, and so he's looking to rebound as well. Followed by P6, Tyler Honeycutt, who is racing very hard with Donnie Honeycutt on our P6 spot. And then our P7 spot is going to be Bradley Minor. P8, Chad McGinley. And I'll tell you what, Chad McGinley, I'm surprised, has not been towards the front all day today. And, you know, he's usually such a very competitive driver, but he's sitting right now in that P8 spot. Another driver who's sitting in the P9 spot, Carlos Enriquez, who is already up he's already up 5 positions to that P9 spot. So he is, I can bet he's waiting on a caution as he gets a little bit tight coming off that turn, almost getting into the wall. And P10, JJ McCoy in that 7 car. And that is going to be our top 10 right there.
Well, what happened to Michael Hayes? I see he's, you know, lost 5 spots, or now looks like he may be a lap down.
Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes ended up going down pit road.
Okay, so he pitted early.
Yes, he ended up going down pit road. So there you have it. That's what happened to him. And so it looks like I was wrong. At 27, lap 27, man, these guys are going to start going down pit road. As you see, Adam Thompson coming out of pit road right now as well. Michael Hayes going down pit road on lap 25. And we'll see. We'll see what he's able to do. As we have another driver coming down pit road right now.
Stephen Hayes coming down pit road.
Yes, sir. Stephen Hayes is coming down pit road. And as we are now in our pit stop cycle, and we'll see what this does for the rest of the drivers. And I'll tell you what, I can only imagine if DJ Honeycutt and Bobby Manta are coming down in the next few laps, because they do not want to have Stephen Hayes off to a huge lead.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. Maybe they're obviously not going to come in. Well, they may come in this time, maybe another time, and maybe they'll, you know, get a little more length in space between them, but I wouldn't go more than 2 laps.
We'll see. They will stay out another lap. And I can imagine that if I feel like Bobby's gonna do whatever DJ's gonna do.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because I don't know if, you know, because Bobby's, you know, behind him. Will Bobby at the last second sneak in, you know, maybe a lap ahead of him?
The thing is though, like, if you can make this a 2-stop race, go ahead and do so. If these, because Bobby Manta almost hitting the wall again.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's going to be coming in shortly. If not now, but he'll be coming in shortly.
And they're gonna go stay out another lap. And
wow.
I'll tell you what, Michael Hayes, the last couple weeks has been notorious for pitting early and making races a 3-stop race when they're only supposed to be a 2-stop race, or a 2-stop race when it's only supposed to be a 1-stop race. Right now, he's carving up through the field.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot of work ahead of him, because, you know, DJ Honeycutt and Bobby Mantle, they've checked out from the rest of the field.
Absolutely. I mean, the last car back is Tyler Honeycutt, who's in P3, and he's 5 seconds back.
I mean, and Bobby's making ground.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if I'm Bobby Mantle, there's no reason to pit. I mean, you might as well just go in once DJ goes in and just make sure that you have you try to gain up time for when he goes into pit road without speeding. So
As
let's see how
as
Bobby's able to navigate that.
as close as Bobby is, though, do you let him go in and you go one more lap around and come
I
in the pits, or
I can't risk it. You already have that lead. You don't want to give it up. And as you see, Tyler Honeycutt down pit road, and he's
so
gonna go ahead.
I'm wondering if Bobby let up a little bit to see what, when DJ's gonna come in, so he'll follow him.
Right? That's one thing about Bobby. He's a very talented driver. He knows how to push that pit road entry, and he will do it every single time to see if he can gain any seconds. And DJ Honeycutt is gonna stay out. DJ and Bobby Mantle are gonna stay out
Wow.
another lap. And I'll tell you who's loving that right now. Stephen Hayes, who is already caught up to Adam Thompson.
Look at Chad McGinley and Bradley Minor. They're up to third and fourth now. So at what point do you say, in third or fourth place, do you say, okay, I can't follow these guys anymore. I want to go in.
10-4. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, hey, like if I'm those guys, I'm looking at Bobby Mantle and DJ Honeycutt saying, hey, I'm 6 seconds back. Let me go ahead and gain some time and go by going down pit road and kind of doing what Tyler Honeycutt did, is going down pit road so I can gain some time on the long run after I come out. But I can only imagine that these guys are trying to make it to at least lap 40 so they can make this
A one-stop
a
race.
one-stop race.
At this point, I don't know if Bobby's pushing it all that hard, or if he's just trying to, stay back to see when DJ's gonna go in the pits. That way he can follow him in, and they're on the same amount of laps and the same pace with each other, or if he's used up all of his stuff and he's just, trying to hold on and keep a hold of him.
Exactly, and I'll tell you what, Bobby Mantle has been flirting with that turn 2 wall for the last 3 laps. And he's already hit it once earlier. And I could only imagine that he has to keep telling himself that, hey, you have to slow down. If he keeps sending it in there, he's gonna hit that wall again and mess up his race car.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And just speaking out of, being in the truck league, Bobby's very talented when it comes to driving, and he's got a ploy behind what he's doing, so.
Exactly. Now, if these drivers are,
Wow. Here comes DJ, and Bobby stayed out.
We will see. And I thought that might have been the case, as you saw that Bobby Mantle was slowly losing ground to DJ Honeycutt. I thought Bobby Mantle might have been saving. Let's ride along with Bobby Mantle and let's see.
With Bobby going around like this, I mean, he's got what, 5 seconds on Bradley Minor now in second place. So he may be, like you had mentioned earlier, he may be trying to make it to lap 40 doing a one-stop race.
We will see. And he put it ended up hitting the wall again, and that's not what you want. And Bobby has really been pushing it on these tires. And as you see, he hits the wall again. At some point, driver discipline just has to come down. And you just have to tell yourself, hey, I'm pushing it a little bit too hard. Sometimes slower is faster.
Yes, sir, for real. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I mean, he's almost off to a 7-second lead. I don't know why he's pushing so hard.
I mean, it's impressive to watch him in the trucks. I mean, it's definitely impressive to watch him the way he's racing right now. But again, I question, like you have, you know, why is he pushing so hard? Maybe he's trying to do the fuel management and, you know, make this a one-stop race.
Yeah, during that ride along, I was looking to see if he was clutching going into the corner. It doesn't look like he's clutching going into the corner, so that might be an indicator that he's good to the green or what. But I mean, granted, we'll see if he's able to make it.
Yeah, we'll definitely see if a lot of them can make it, because it looks like the top 9 have not pitted yet. I mean, we're talking Bobby hasn't pitted, Bradley, Chad, Donnie Honeycutt, Carlos, JJ McCoy, Mark Sherwood, Ron Harrington, John Howard have all not pitted yet.
And we'll see if will these drivers not be able to make it to lap 40. And not only that, if they're able to, are these drivers able to make it above lap 40?
Boy, if they can make it to 40, you gotta believe they could make it to the end after that.
Because if you think about it, maybe with DJ Honeycutt short pitting, he might be able to be good to the gallon and still have a one-stop race. So we'll see what strategy he is on, and whether he's able to make it all the way good to the gallon towards the end of the race.
Oh, and he could definitely push it harder than Bobby can right now. I mean, if a caution comes out right now, I would tend to believe that obviously the leaders can go in, but DJ could be sitting pretty right now.
If the caution were to come out, honestly, I believe Stephen Hayes, Michael Hayes, Adam Thompson, DJ Honeycutt, Tyler Honeycutt would all be furious. Because that's one thing you don't want to do. Like, you run that risk as you start working on strategy. You want to make sure your strategy works out. And then when you see that caution come out, then your strategy just gets kicked out the window. And now they're going to be then those guys will start in the back. As we have Bradley Minor and Carlos Henriquez going down pit road on that lap 39 mark.
You know, and Bobby's just, I mean, completely checked out. I mean, he's definitely a man on a mission as far as trying to get as much time as he can between him and...
If you hear Bobby, he's clutching that thing to bring it home. And he's going to stay out another lap.
Wow.
And as you can hear Bobby, while we're riding along with Bobby, going into these turns, Bobby is clutching. And letting it coast into the corner to conserve fuel.
Well, you know, Bobby, Chad, and Donnie, and John Howard still haven't pitted yet.
I was looking at JJ McCoy and Ron Harrington and Mark Sherwood going down pit road.
I mean, those 4 guys have got to be almost running on fumes.
And I'll tell you what, Donnie Honeycutt, that's another job you can't count out. He's going to make it a one-stop race as well, and I can imagine that he's clutching too. Yes, he is.
And here comes Bobby down pit road.
And I'll tell you what, Bobby has went down pit road as
Wow,
well.
Chad McGinley stayed out.
And I'll tell you what, these are, oh, this is a lot of pit strategy going on here, and I like it. As you see, Chad McGinley, who's stayed out, and
Oh, Bobby Mantle missed his pit stall.
oh no,
He had to back up a little bit.
oh no, that's gonna do a lot. That's
That
not what you want to do.
no, that's gonna hurt.
And I'll tell you who's loving that right now, and his name is DJ Honeycutt.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure I'll get a lot of riff from Bobby for pointing that out, but yeah, he is a fellow teammate.
That's not what you want to do. Is when you practice so hard on strategy and you're relying so hard on strategy, you want to make sure you execute going down pit road, and just to have that little mishap is is very detrimental to his strategy. And Chad McGinley down pit road as we're just looking at Chase Albright come out of pit road.
Now, do they get a point for leading a lap in this league?
No sir, no sir.
No, okay. I didn't know that's why maybe Chad stayed out an extra lap.
These drivers are looking good as Steven and Michael Hayes are right now in first and second. Looking at Carlos Enriquez battling with Mark Sherwood for that P11 spot. Oh, Mark almost gets into the wall there coming out of turn.
I tell you, I know most of these drivers are, you know, part of the truck league, but also I know a lot of these drivers are trying to work their way onto a team for the truck league. The truck league is going to be, you know, if half of these guys get in that league, it's going to be very competitive.
Yes, yes, it's gonna be a lot of good drivers come February when we transition to our truck league. And I mean, not only do we have playoff drivers fighting for their playoff admirations, but we have unsigned drivers here who are looking for a seat in the truck series. And one driver who's looking for a seat is Carlos Enriquez, and as well as Michael Dow. And so we'll see. And also Jason Schilling, who doesn't seem to be on the track right now. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely putting on a show to show their, you know, their talent. You know,
Right now, a race leader who pitted on lap 27, Stephen Hayes, who I can only imagine that he's gonna have to go pit one more time. I don't think he's gonna be able to make it work, as DJ Honeycutt sitting right now P4, who's right now is only 4 seconds back to the leader. So we'll see how that works out. He has a lot of work to do, but right now, he is probably the only car that's going to be able to make it over that 40-out threshold.
yeah, I see Stephen Hayes and you know, Michael Hayes and Adam Thompson, they're on 18 to 20 to 19 lap old tires. I mean, they may have to pit one more time the way things are looking.
Yeah, or if they get a caution though, that will change everything throughout the race.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you just wonder, as spread out as everybody is, will one happen? I mean, will we go all 80 laps, caution free?
We'll see. We'll see. But once you get towards the end of the race, that's when the gloves come off, and these guys say, "Hey, I'm fighting for a playoff spot, and I'm not gonna let you pass like I would have at the beginning of the race."
Now, do we have a list of who the playoff drivers are?
Yes, yes. So right now, all of our playoff drivers are Stephen Hayes, Michael Hayes, Adam Thompson, DJ Honeycutt, Tyler Honeycutt, Bradley Minor, Bobby Mantle, Donnie Honeycutt, Chad McGinley, Ron Harrington, John Howard, Carlos Enriquez, and Chase Albright, and a driver that cannot be here today, which is going to be Danny White. And that fills out our 12-car field for playoff drivers, as well as JJ McCoy.
Let's say for the drivers that are, not only the playoff drivers, but the ones that aren't in the playoffs, they're all racing each other so respectfully, and it's making this one heck of a race.
And as we take a look at our pit stop strategy stint length, you can see Stephen Hayes on 20 lap old tires and Michael Hayes on 22 lap old tires. And so we'll see how that works out for these drivers. Not too confident in their strategy, but we'll see.
Yeah,
these guys have proven themselves time and time again.
I don't, again, like we talked about earlier, I mean, Bobby made it to lap 40. So, I mean, I don't think he really, even if a caution comes out right now, he's in the catbird seat. He doesn't have to pit again if he doesn't want to.
And I'll tell you who's not having a good race right now. JJ McCoy. Who right now is he's sitting P16. And it's just been a uphill battle for him right now.
And that was my pick. But again, when I said it was my pick, I said I was biased because of Bobby Mantle and Chad and JJ are all my truck teammates. So, I mean, there's still a chance. There's still a chance.
Always a chance.
I mean, you got, again, if it was to stay green right now, Ron Harrington sitting in 10th. I mean, he's come a long ways from, just riding around. He's competitive.
Yes, sir, Ron Harrington. And right now, he was able to make it to lap 39 before he went down pit road. So he's one of those other drivers who's looking to make it a one-stop race, and he's going to be sitting in a very good position because if you think about it, Stephen Hayes, Michael Hayes, Adam Thompson still going to have to go down pit road. So he's looking to have himself potentially a top 5 finish if all the cards play out right.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I don't want to harp on things, but I mean, he's a phenomenal painter of vehicles. So if anybody out there needs a paint scheme, he's your man. But right now, I mean, he's definitely holding his own and definitely getting his laps down, and like you said, he could potentially end up top 5 if everything ends up well.
Yes, as we ride along with Ron Harrington.
And it was funny. I was talking to him earlier, and he goes, "No, he goes, I'm not Ron Harrington. I must be Ronald Holmes." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, Josh every week says my name is Ronald Holmes when you're not here." So I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
My apologies, Harrington. My apologies. You are putting on a great race. As you can see, Mark Sherwood, who's trying to give him some pressure, who's trying to catch that draft. As you see Ron trying to break that draft, so we'll see.
Now, wouldn't it, just a question here, wouldn't it be better for the two of them to work together to get up to the next group, per se?
And if you look at it right now, yes, it would be better, but I don't know, because I don't know if there's anything they can do, because if you look at it, DJ Honeycutt is already up to P2, and he is chasing down Stephen Hayes like a dog. And I don't think he cares whether he takes it on the outside or inside. He's gonna zoom around Stephen Hayes when he gets that run, as we have a battle for the race lead.
Wow, 7-lap tires I mean, they mean the world. I mean, it's, wow, look at that lead coming around the corner. I mean, Steven and DJ, I mean, who's loving this more? Michael Hayes and Adam Thompson coming up behind him.
Yes. And Stephen Hayes is doing a good job of holding that high line. We'll see if he's able to hold it going into turn 3. And these are two drivers who are very familiar with each other. They've came into Global Racing League in the same class and have been racing each other hard ever since. And so glad to see these two guys still racing.
And it's never, like you said, they race each other hard every week, and it's very respectful the way they race each other.
Yes, these guys, two friends as well, like the Honeycutt family and the Hayes family, and that's what you like to see. As these guys are putting on a show right now, going for that first place position, as DJ Honeycutt is still on the inside of Stephen Hayes and trying to clear himself. He's going to drive it in a little bit harder. We'll see if Stephen Hayes is going to be able to get that crossover. Or it looks like DJ Honeycutt's going to make it stick as they both go down pit road.
Whoa! I didn't see that coming.
And now I am looking at Bobby Mantle right now. I'm looking at Bobby Mantle right now, thinking, what did Bobby Mantle do?
You know, if you ask in my opinion right now, I think he's in the catbird seat, dude. Unless a caution comes out, he's the man to beat right now.
You think about it, Chad McGinley, Bobby Mantle, and Bradley Minor all pitted around the same time. And right now, that would give pretty much our net lead right now to Bradley Minor, who's looking to get around the 60 of Michael Dow. And Bobby Mantle, who just has one lap fresher tires, is just a little bit to his rear. So we'll see how he's able to navigate. And this right here is pretty much going to be the battle for the net lead, as Bradley Minor is our new leader.
It's very nice for Bradley to be able to lead a lap.
And I'll tell you what, and I try not to do politics, but as a race owner of one-on-one motorsports, and that being my driver, that's just fantastic to see.
I was gonna say that's music to your ears at this point. But again, you know, I mean, not trying to put a kibosh to that, but the trucks handle way different than these cars do.
8, 10, 4, yes. But that's one thing is that they said the saying is if they said if you can learn how to drive these Arca cars, you can drive any car.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing. As we see these guys, Bobby starting to hound Bradley, we'll see what they can do.
Now we're coming down to, you know, like you said earlier, Bradley Minor, last time he pitted was 19 laps ago. Bobby Mantle, 17 laps ago. Chad McGinley, 16 laps ago. And Johnny Honeycutt, 17 laps ago. Ron Harrington, 18 laps ago. And Mark Sherwood, 18 laps ago. I gotta think they can all make it to the end.
I can, as you see, we're looking at Ron Harrington in that P5 position. That's just great to see. Ron is just such a good guy who is just really just a student of the art of racing and recently, and he is putting together a phenomenal race with only 23 laps to go.
It is so good to see him running so well. He's such a good guy in the truck races and these Arca races that it is great to see him doing so well.
Yes, now as you look, Michael and Steven are coming. They are tearing their way through the field as they are to the rear of Ronald Holmes. Oh, Ronald Harrington. I done made the mistake.
Did it again.
Again, golly, I thought I could go one race without that.
It looks like, you know, Bobby's trying to draft his way up to 46 to get around him.
Yes, and they've been pretty much a even lock, and right now what we're seeing is just a result of that mistake that Bobby had with that pit road entry.
Yeah, I gotta think though, you know, I mean, I do understand that JJ McCoy is a Grim Reaper Motorsports truck racer. Is he helping Bobby out, trying to draft him up to Bradley Minor to get him around him, or do you think it's one for all, or all for none?
I think that draft has. I think if anything, I mean, Bobby's already in the draft with Bradley Minor, so the only thing he can do is just catch him. But it's just the matter of who has that better entry and exit on these turns, and it looks like, well, for the time being, it's Bradley Minor. These guys are in the deadlock. We'll see what happens, but right now,
definitely. I mean, Bobby's definitely catching him.
I just can't imagine that Stephen Hayes and DJ Honeycutt are gonna catch up, because right now these guys are 19 seconds, I'm sorry, back to the leader, and I just don't. I mean, they would literally have to get catch up
Bobby.
a second a lap.
Oh,
and Bradley's going down
pit road.
Pit lane too, and he's speeding down pit. He almost he locked him up. Hopefully he didn't get a penalty when Bradley Minor.
Oh no! Hopefully he didn't get a penalty, because right now, I mean, if JJ McCoy hooked up with Bobby and he helped him,
I
You
can
know,
imagine he's only doing gas and go.
yeah.
As we see the right sides come up.
Oh, wow, he's getting tires.
It looks like,
So now
yeah.
you got 1 and 2, Bobby Mantel and Chad McGinley. Chad's still 6 seconds back.
And right now, what's really scary is Stephen Hayes. They've cut the lead back to 17 seconds, so they are ahead of schedule right now.
They're making their way.
And we'll see what that actually means.
I mean, it makes me wonder because, you know, Donnie Honeycutt, you know, he's looks like he's about 11 or 12 seconds back. Is he letting up a little bit to try to make it to the end? I mean, he's on the same pace as Bobby and Chad, so
I can only imagine that he's gonna be trying to save. But when you're trying to save and and Stephen Hayes is only 5 seconds
yeah.
back and closing, and he's good to the gallon, that puts you in a tough spot. I'll tell you what, it puts you in a tough spot.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it just makes me wonder as far as, Bobby has a teammate behind him. He's got, well, I say teammate because Bobby Mantel and Chad McGinley are Green Reaper guys, but what do I want to say there? You got Bobby Mantel, he's in first, but you got JJ McCoy in between them. So is JJ, trying to help Bobby out? But I mean, there's still a gap between the two, so the draft can't be that.
All right, and as you look here, unfortunately, Bradley Minor is already a lap down. It looks like he spent a lot of time on pit road. His pit stop was 1 minute 26 seconds. So it looks like he did have a hold, and that looks like that's going to do it for his race, unfortunately.
Well, and I feel bad for him, too, because he was having such a good race.
Oh, yeah, he was having such a good race. That's what these drivers went over in the meeting, that pit road comes up on you fast. Sometimes you don't even know you're in pit road. You think when you see that first cone, you think that that's the commitment line, and that's actually pit road. So that might have been his confusion there going down into pit road. And I'm just unfortunate break for Bradley Minor, but with the race he put together, hopefully he'll be able to rebound next week in the Concord.
And that's just it. I mean, they preach during the practice, practice your pit road imprint. You can practice it all day long, but when it comes time to execute it during a race, sometimes you mess up, and it's definitely unfortunate.
Yeah, this is one of those unfortunate breaks, and hopefully he will learn from this and take all this into the trucks for next season.
But I gotta tell you, who I'm impressed with right now? We haven't talked about him much. We gave him a shout out. We gave his father a shout out. John Howard is in 10th place. Come on, brother, keep it going.
Yeah, he's already he in the beginning of the race he was in the back of the pack, but he's managed to make his way up to P10. And right now he managed to get around Mark Sherwood, and to snag that P10 position.
I mean, he's impressive right now. He's on the go.
And that's what you want to do. You want to put yourself in position for that final race at Concord next week to come away with the championship. And I can just imagine that knowing John Howard, he's gonna practice hard for next week.
Oh, I imagine he's gonna put in a ton of time.
Oh, 44 Mark Sherwood in the wall, and that's what you don't want to have happen. It's just your car getting tight. Let's look for Donnie Honeycutt getting around the 60 of Michael Dow.
Bobby got such a lead right now. I mean, he could save his tires until next week, and he could still be okay.
Yes, Bobby Mantle he's been the strongest car tonight by far ever since the start of the race. So hopefully he's able to bring his first win of the season home tonight. And ever since, unfortunately, he had that heartbreak situation at Bristol where he was gonna be the car to probably win the race, but then he ended up getting into contact with Chad McGinley and ruining both of their races, and he wasn't able to snag a win. But with 13 laps to go, Bobby Mantle has been the strongest car today. And Stephen Hayes is only 9 seconds back, and I tell you what, Stephen Hayes is ahead of schedule right now as he's battling around the 22 of Donnie Honeycutt. Stephen Hayes is coming. Stephen Hayes is coming. He's ahead of schedule, 12 laps to go, 9 seconds back. And he's going to have Bobby Mantle set. And I'll tell you what, if you're Chad McGinley, what are you going to do?
Well,
are you gonna...
we know what happens in the truck league. I mean, that was an unfortunate scenario, but when it comes to Chad behind Bobby, it doesn't usually end well.
Yes, unfortunately, that is what happens. But what I'm more so alluding to is Chad McGinley. It doesn't seem like he's going to catch Bobby Mantle, but right now Stephen Hayes is catching Chad McGinley. Now Bobby Mantle is his Truck Series teammate. Will he make it hard on Stephen Hayes to pass? And not only that, if you look at it, JJ McCoy in the 7 car is also hanging to the rear of Bobby Mantle. And we will see how that plays out because will he decide to kind of be the bodyguard for Bobby Mantle for when Stephen Hayes has to get around him?
Yeah, it makes you wonder. I keep saying JJ McCoy has been behind Bobby for I don't know how many laps. I mean, is he there to help him out? You know, kind of like you said, be his bodyguard? I don't know.
It's going to be very interesting as we are 10 laps to go.
And shout out to these drivers, dude. I mean, what a race. Caution free on such, to me, I'm not a fan of Pocono. I find it very, very difficult, especially in these cars. But these guys, I mean, caution free for, you know, going on 72 laps now is very, very, very impressive.
Very impressive, and these drivers are doing well. As I'm keeping an eye out for Stephen Hayes, who's down to a 6 second, or he's 6 seconds back to Bobby Mantle, but he still has two drivers he's gonna have to get through.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't want to harp on the truck league a lot because I mean we all race trucks, but you know you got Bobby Mantle, Grim Reaper, you got Chad McGinley, Grim Reaper, you got JJ McCoy, Grim Reaper. So when Stephen Hayes gets up to, you know, gets up there, is he gonna, like you said, is he gonna play block party and let the rest of his guys, you know, win the race, or is he gonna be, you know, let him go by?
I'll tell you what, he can try to block all he wants, but then what's going to happen is DJ Honeycutt, who's right behind Stephen Hayes, he's going to be in the mix too, and we'll see how that goes, because one of these cars are going to get a marathon. You're not going to be able to block two cars.
Oh, absolutely not. You're not. Yeah, I agree 100%.
And we'll see if Bobby, because the problem what Bobby was having towards the middle of the race was he was driving his car very, very hard and into the corner and out of the corner. And so it looks like he's able to stabilize it now. And we'll see what that's able to do. But
you know, he's got what, a 2-second lead now on Chad. So I mean, maybe he learned something from that run. So he's, you know, he's letting up a little bit, trying to make it last, but
yeah, maybe Chad was just saving his tires.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we're going to be in for a treat here, and we'll see what's going to happen with these lap cars with JJ McCoy. And
I'm just gonna say, because here, you know, Chad got around JJ, so you know now you got JJ running his line, and who's coming up next is Stephen Hayes. So now does he play block party, or, you know, does he, you know, just let him go by?
All right, as we have the 99 of Michael Hayes looking to the inside of the 71 of Adam Thompson. A little teammate racing there, and it looks like Bradley Minor is going to be behind them. Unfortunately, a lap down.
You know, Adam Thompson's having a heck of a race.
Yes, Adam Thompson, who's a part of this year's rookie class. He's been putting together a very good race. I mean, he's been having strong finishes all season.
Oh, Chad McGinley looks like he got in the wall a little bit. JJ had to go around, and Stephen Hayes. Oh, wow, Stephen Hayes is passing him and JJ McCoy. Bobby Mantle better look out.
Yeah, we will see. Stephen Hayes.
We have, what, 4 laps to go? That's
already up to P3.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
We have 5 laps to go.
It's definitely good to see, and I know I've said this before, but you know, it looks like Ron Harrington maybe coming in 10th place. What a good guy. What a good race. He's such a competitor.
Right, and as you can see, John Howard was able to get around Ron Harrington and come up with that P9 spot.
Yeah, these guys are putting on such a phenomenal race. I'm so impressed.
Okay, and as we see it, Michael Hayes is getting around right now. Chase Albright along with DJ Honeycutt, and this is going to be interesting. DJ Honeycutt is going to try to peek that inside line from Stephen Hayes. And if I'm Steven, I'm telling DJ, hey, just don't race, don't battle me yet. Don't battle me yet. We're almost there. We're almost to the promised land.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't care if I finish in, you know, third or fourth or whatever. Just don't wreck me so I can finish the race.
Right. You don't want to be wrecked, and you just want to. JJ McCoy's gonna move over.
Wow.
And let these guys race and not gonna hold them up. And so there we go. And it's gonna be a fight with 3 laps to go. And if I am Bobby Mantle, I'm looking in my rearview mirror. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm trying.
Absolutely. And you know, kudos to JJ for, you know, saying I don't have a dog in this race right now, so you guys have at it. But
Right.
definitely, like you said, Bobby, rear view mirror drive, because these guys are coming.
Unfortunately, they kind of fell off pace. And we have Carlos Enriquez, who have huge right side damage on pit road. Unfortunately.
Look at the group, though, back there with Stephen Hayes. I mean, wow, they're bunching up pretty good.
Yeah, and as we have DJ Honeycutt looking to the inside of Steven. And he's saying it's 2 laps to go. I don't think we're going to be able to get there in time, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that P3 position from you.
Yeah, you don't want the podium? I'll take it.
Right now, Bobby Mantle trying to break the drive from Chad McGinley. As you see that a little right side damage on Bobby Mantle.
I tell you, you know, you can say what you want, but Bobby Mantle and Chad McGinley, they put in their time during the week to, you know, practice laps or whatever, what have you. These guys put in their time to, especially
Bobby super tight coming out of turn 3. And it's going to have Chad McGinley on his bumper. Final lap. And Chad McGinley's going to have a huge run, and these guys are at it again.
Oh, this can't be good.
This cannot be good at all.
Oh, don't tell me Chad is feeling bad for him and he's going to let up a little.
Oh, Bobby Mantle in the wall again. Chad McGinley's going to have the run. Will Bobby squeeze him going into turn, or will he let him have it? I think he's going to let him have it. He is going to let him have it, and that is just a huge heartbreak.
Oh, I don't know. Here comes the cross.
Oh, here he comes. Bobby Mantle to the inside going into turn 3, final turn. Bobby Mantle's going to drive it hard. Chad McGinley's going to go for the crossover.
Can he do it?
Oh.
Can he do it?
Well, looks like Bobby Mantle's going to hold on to snag his first win.
Dude. Wow.
Goodness gracious.
That was very impressive.
I was on the edge of my seat. Your race winner, Bobby Mantle, holds on after a long fought battle. He almost gave it up, but he was able to come away with the win on the last turn. And I bet his emotions are on 100. Let's take a look at that finish again.
That was so impressive.
Goodness gracious.
And kudos to DJ Honeycutt, 3rd place.
as they were able to race super hard coming to the line as he just had that preferred line coming out on that high side. And Chad McGinley just didn't have enough for him.
Well, that was very impressive the way they both did the the crossover move to each other.
Yeah, I thought Bobby Mantle, I thought he was going to be done there. I mean, he kept on driving in pretty hard, but I mean,
Yeah, I just heard him say on the radio that, I kept smacking the wall. Yes,
yes,
you
and
did.
he's going to burn it out and well deserved his first win in the season. And it comes at a great time. Now, and that's one thing I alluded to last week is when it comes time, the playoffs, Bobby Mantle and Chad McGinley, they just flip a switch. As you see, Chad McGinley burns it out with his teammate.
That is very awesome. That is
Uh,
very awesome to see.
they just flip that switch when they hear the word playoffs,
Yeah,
and
it's awesome.
just a great race from those guys. And Bobby Mantle a much needed win.
I guess that long run paid off.
Yes, long run made it a one-stop pit, and
That's that's very impressive.
very impressive. Let's go through the field for our race results and let's take a look. So in first place, our race winner tonight, Bobby Mantle, followed by our second place, Chad McGinley. Third place, DJ Honeycutt. Fourth place, Adam Thompson. Fifth place, Stephen Hayes. Sixth place, Michael Hayes. Seventh place, Donnie Honeycutt. Eighth place, Tyler Honeycutt. Ninth place, John Howard. 10th place, Ron Harrington.
We got 11th, Mark Sherwood. 12th, Bradley Miner. 13th, Chase Albright. 14th, JJ McCoy. 15th, Michael Dow. 16th, Carlos Henriquez. 17th is Jason Schilling.
Yes, and that is our 17 car field and a phenomenal race here at week 7 at the Tricky Triangle 100. And let's get to our race interviews as we wait to get our third place driver, which is
DJ
DJ
Honeycutt.
Honeycutt. And DJ Honeycutt, this is Joshua Slade and Ronald Holmes in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, bud.
Hey, phenomenal race. I know we haven't seen you out there on the track, but you were able to come away and snag a P3 spot tonight. What was kind of like your strategy for tonight?
Man, just trying to save the tires. Trying to maintain pace. I seen Bobby was kind of wearing that right rear out pretty hard on the exits in the corner early on, so I just try to maintain pace and not lose too much time. And eventually, just got by him. And him and Steve had that one incident. I got by him on the short shoot to 3, and after that, I could pretty much just manage my pace and keep them behind. And pretty much, I mean, I'd say I was pretty dominant throughout this race, but Steve decided to hold me up there for the last 4 or 5 laps, and kind of gave them the win because I mean, I was so much faster. I was going to get by with them like half a lap. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Steve racing hard. I don't know. It's just that just kind of gave that one away, but it was fun, man. These cars, this is my favorite thing to do, and I feel like this is where I shine, definitely. But it was a lot of fun, man. This track, these last year I did really like this track. This track is a lot of fun, especially when you have this car. But
Yes,
other than that,
sir.
it
Yes,
was a pretty
sir.
good race. I was honestly surprised it went green the whole time. But other than that, it was really fun. Nice to have the different strategies, see how they played out. Because I didn't think we was gonna catch them really until I seen how fast we were catching them. It was about a second and a half a lap throughout the whole run. But that was fun. I really enjoyed that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You were in first place when you decided to go down pit road, and kind of what was going on there? I thought you were going to be good to the gallon, and then you decided to go down pit road. What was kind of like the process going on there?
Yeah, I wasn't trying to stretch it at all. I don't like having to do that to try to win a race. So I'd rather just two stop it. But yeah, me and Steve were racing there, and you can see it's hard to get by. I caught them pretty fast. Then once they start covering the top, I can't really get by. So I heard them talking in the chat when they were thinking about going. So I tried to lock him on the outside and hit before him. And knowing him too well, I knew exactly when he was coming. So I just went the lap he was coming and figured I could just maintain pace since I was faster with him on even tires before. And I definitely was faster when it came down to it. But so I didn't really want to stretch it out too long. And if I did, I was thinking taking two, but I didn't know how it would work out. So I would rather just take four and pace myself with the other guys.
I'm for 100%.
Hey, Ron Holmes here. Just a quick question as far as you know, when you came in the pits and you kept seeing Bobby go round and round and round and round, you know, that much longer. What was going through your head? I mean, did you think, well, he's making a big mistake, or did you think, you know, I got
No,
this, or
no, I didn't think really either thing. I knew it was going to be different. I didn't know how much time we was going to be losing him doing that strategy, or if I was going to be in the better position. I didn't think I was good or bad either way, but I knew. I mean, we would be faster on the longer run, but I don't know. I mean, just I guess just the way this race played out, it was perfect for both strategies. Because I mean, other than me probably being a little bit faster there at the end, they worked out for them. Um,
yeah, it definitely seemed like you were faster at the end of the race because you were. I mean, if that let, I personally feel if that race was say 5 more laps, I definitely think you would have caught him. But I don't know, you
yeah,
know, what.
honestly, with the pace I had, I was probably going to pass him going into two or around there the next lap because I was only a second back. But I mean, it's all good. And that's part of racing, so you can't win them all. But at least I knew I came out here and I had a good race. I didn't. I only brushed the wall once when Steve decided to run into it in front of me. But all good there. I mean, it was a
Well,
lot of fun.
you definitely put on one hell of a race, brother, and congratulations for finishing in third.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. So next week we will be racing at Concord Speedway. How are you looking? Are you looking forward to that race? And if so, what's kind of your game plan moving towards the final championship race? Or I'm sorry, you're not even in the championship.
Nope. I wish I was, man. It was,
Wow,
man.
way to rub
I,
salt in the wound.
yeah.
I'm
Knowing I
sorry.
wouldn't be able to run my favorite stuff full time, but yeah, honestly, this was just a one-off. It just the cards fell, so I was able to race tonight. So I won't be racing next week, but me and my dad and my brother, we practiced there, and I was trying to help them out, just like we practiced here with them the other day, trying to give them pointers so they can have the best chance because they've been doing very good this
Yes.
season. They've been very
Well,
good. I'm not
I wish
surprised, but I'm very proud.
I wish you a absolute ton of luck, and it seems like an absolute very competitive league this year in the trucks, dude. You're a phenomenal driver, and I will always respect you. And I just wish you nothing but the best.
Thanks, man. That
Yes.
means a lot. But yeah, I'm super excited for this truck. Man, it's
Yes,
probably the
sir.
best roster of competitive drivers we've ever had. So I'm excited to see how me and my team will match up against everybody.
Yes, sir. Good third place finish tonight, DJ Honeycutt. Is there anyone that you want to shout out tonight?
Just my family. My Uncle Dwayne who's watching, he's still battling that shoulder injury, and all my Ghost Motorsports teammates, and just all my family who maybe watch or night. Other than that, thank y'all too for the broadcast and doing this Arca series. Even though I haven't been able to race it, it's been a lot of fun just watching, seeing everybody does.
Yes,
Well,
sir, Dwayne.
you're
We wish
definitely
you a
one
speedy recovery.
you're definitely one heck of a driver, dude, and thank you for your participation.
Yeah, no problem, guys. You have a good night.
You too. All right, DJ Honeycutt. That is our third place finisher tonight, DJ Honeycutt. Next, I will have Ronald Harrington. He will take the stand for
No, you won't.
our second place finisher, Chad McGinley. Chad McGinley, Joshua Slade, and Ronald Holmes in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got a copy.
God, how are you doing this evening?
I am good.
What were your thoughts as the laps were running, coming down and you were starting to catch Bobby? What was that like? Were we reminiscing about the truck league in Phoenix?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, honestly. I was like, gosh darn it, here we go again. But my whole mentality was I'd rather at this time and what I've learned, second's better than wrecking. So, I still wanted to give him a little bit of a run for his money. I just didn't have quite enough cleanly to pass him. So I'm okay with second, losing to Bobby. I've learned my lesson already. So it was a good race, though, that's for sure.
In earlier, I know I'm supposed to let Josh have the second question, but how in the beginning of the race you were so far back in the field and then it got so spread out? Where did your confidence come from to say, I know I can be there in the end?
Pocono is a fun track. We know this in the trucks. It was down to a fuel run, so I knew it was going to be a fuel run. So my whole goal, starting so far back, having a bad qualifying, put me in a prime position for my strategy. It was just save as much as I can, and that way I can go full bore at the end and still have plenty in the tank. And I still had a lap in the tank. So if we win another lap, I would have been good. But ultimately, my whole plan was literally just save and just, it's going to happen. It's going to work. Don't worry about it. Just put your head down, hit your marks. And it was dang near close. It was a half a tenth, a little too much save, I guess you could say. But ultimately, second's a great finish.
And for Chad McGinley, take me through that last lap. Once you saw Bobby Mantle hit the wall coming out of turn one, and you were able to get in the inside going into the turn two. What was kind of like your strategy, your mentality going on from that point going into turn three? Were you just more so, did you want to give him the inside line going into there, or were you, how come you wasn't able to block that inside line?
Him hitting the wall, realistically, I kind of wanted to trail him into two. With him hitting the wall, kind of messed up what I wanted to do. But I figured if I got a good enough run, I could clear him, and we all know what happened at Bristol. I wasn't clear then, so I didn't want to do that to myself again. And watching the replay back, I had room to move up and be clear and not have to worry about it to where I had to defend that inside lane and slow myself up, which ultimately got him back to the inside of me coming out of two. But like I said, I've learned my lessons, and past races to first and second isn't all bad, but 13th, 14th is terrible for points. And with one race to go now, points are very important. So didn't want to make it mess up and ruin my chance for sure, or Bobby's chance at all, again, for the championship. So it was just played it safe and let's drag race to the line. So that's what it came down to. And it was just a hair too short.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations on your second place finish. Is there anybody you can give a shout out to?
My family for sure let me jump on here and ignore them for a few hours of the night. And obviously you guys, Josh for sure. Every week you put on a great show. Can't wait to watch this and see your reaction because I know you were probably going a little crazy thinking about how close it was going to be. So I can't wait to watch it. And Ronald, I appreciate you jumping in and helping out too. I'm sure you did a great job as well.
He was definitely going nuts. And kudos for you, stepping up and being a new truck owner next year. I mean, how's your team stacking up?
We're looking pretty good, man. We got some practice here coming soon, so we gotta start getting ready, getting our feet wet back in the trucks here soon. So that's gonna be something that we're gonna be looking forward to. Obviously, we have you on the team this year, so I look forward to help coaching you and hope we can improve you just a little bit more to get to that level where you want to be. And with Josh, we have a new guy there too, so we're gonna have to work with him and get to his game plans all on our game plans. And from last year carrying on to this year with me, Bobby, and Steven from at the top to here, we want to carry that same mentality. So that way we can have a nice, strong five truck team going into Daytona and hopefully put on a dang good show for Global Racing League.
Yes, sir. So, Chad, next week, the final race. You've put together two phenomenal races winning last week, and today and this week with a P2 finish. You were racing at Concord Speedway next week. What is kind of the mentality that you're taking into the championship race, and how will you prepare for that race?
One key word: survive. That's gonna be key. It's the mini Pocono essentially, so it's gonna be there's gonna be bumps and bruises. There's gonna be bumping, I'm sure. Mistakes happen at that short tracks. It's you just gotta minimize them. Honestly, it's what it's gonna be key. And hope for. I mean, shoot, top two finish would be great for that race too, and hopefully be able to lock it down. But I know it's going to be a battle. We got really strong competitors, especially with Donnie. Last week, reeling me in, and I know he's good at short tracks and saving tires. So I know he's going to be a workforce and really putting in the effort to really put on a good show. And obviously Bobby, with a strong finish here, he's going to be in the hunt as well, along with a few other drivers. So it's definitely going to be survive and push for the best result I can get. And at the end of the day, I mean, if the points work out in my favor, then fantastic. And if not, it is what it is, and you got to move on and just reflect and learn from it.
Yes, yes, yes. And so racing at South Boston Speedway 3 weeks ago, and unfortunately you went down pit road during that race and had to take tires or decided to take tires. And then unfortunately you fell victim into a wreck after that. Have you learned from that decision, and will you think of that moving forward to South Boston?
Oh, Concord, yeah. Well, I mean, it's gonna
Oh,
run some
Concord,
laps.
yes.
You got to run. I got to run some laps there. Haven't Rookie Legends is about the only time I've ever raced around Concord. So Arca's a little bit bigger animal around there, so it's definitely going to be a little different. And obviously tires are going to be key. Track position's going to be key.
You didn't think about
So
moving there though.
no, definitely not. So it's something that's going to be on my mind for sure is trying to stay out of the trouble. I mean, the key word survive is going to be huge at that track. And my luck at short tracks haven't been great. With Bristol, me and Bobby getting into it and bad finish, and like you mentioned, South Boston bad finish, got caught up in a wreck by being in the middle of the field. So I got to get up front, and stay out front, and kind of do what I did at Nashville Fairgrounds and hopefully go win the championship.
There you go. All right, Bobby Mantle, I will be rooting for you
Chad McGinley.
next week in our championship
Yeah.
race.
Hey, you're talking to Chad, not Bobby.
Oh, shoot.
He's next. He's next. He's the winner.
He's next. He's next. He's next. Those guys are always around each other so much.
That is bad
It's-
as you calling Ron Harrington Ron Holmes.
Yes, Chad McGinley, I'm rooting for you, as well as Bobby Mantle, as well as all the playoff drivers. But I'm rooting for you next week, Chad. And good luck in next week's race. Hope you get all the preparation you need, and I know you guys will put on a show for not only me but the rest of the global racing audience as well, and for the people watching at home. So good luck to you, and we will see you next week.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, and that is Chad McGinley, ladies and gentlemen, our second place winner tonight. He has been putting together a phenomenal race. And next, we have our race winner who finally was able to win his first race in week 7, the 89 of Bobby Mantle. Bobby Mantle, this is Joshua Slade and Ronald Holmes in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I'm here.
Man, what a fantastic race tonight. You put on a really good show. You seem like the most dominant driver there tonight, especially from beginning to end. You did have a little bit of troubles with kind of driving your car a little bit too hard, a little bit, and getting into the wall a little bit. But how were you able to kind of weather the storm and come away with that first place finish?
Well, at first, I wasn't thinking I was going to be able to make it a one-stop race. Right off the bat, I was thinking everyone was going to have to do 2 stops. But as we went on, I guess I got lucky with a lot of draft, being in behind guys, and I was able to stretch it out to lap 40. I did have to lift and clutch through all of my corners on lap 39 to get around to 40, but I managed to make it. And then second stint again, I was just lucky. I was able to get in behind Bradley Miner for a good while, take advantage of his draft, save some fuel. And after that, fortunate enough to team up with JJ and Chase, and they helped me out big time. And without them, I definitely wouldn't have saved enough fuel to get to the win.
I was just gonna ask you that, Bobby. How much of a role did JJ help you in your quest to get back to the lead? I mean, we all saw there was a gap between you two, but I mean, he looked like he was helping you out at least a little bit.
Oh, definitely. He had 1 lap fresher tires. He definitely had a little bit more speed on me, but he was already a lap down. So we were talking on the radio and we worked together. So he stayed glued to my bumper, helped me with the draft. And once we caught up to Chase, we all kind of linked up and stayed together for as long as we could. Eventually their tires fell off a little bit and I had to break away. But by that time, I had already saved enough fuel. I was good to go.
100%. So, kind of, Bobby, take me through like what was going through your mind, because I know that you were racing very hard with Stephen Hayes and DJ Honeycutt for a while, but when they took that pit stop, their last pit stop, and they were 20 seconds behind, and we started to see that lead that you had kind of disintegrate. What was going through your mind then?
I was getting nervous. I actually didn't even realize how close they were getting. I was so focused on Chad in my mirror and just watching that relative and seeing him get closer and closer. If we had gone on for probably another lap or 2, those guys easily would have passed both of us.
Yes.
That was going to be my next question. When you were driving around and you're, driving Miss Daisy, so to speak, and you saw Chad coming up behind you, what were you thinking? Was this going to be another remake of Phoenix from the Truck League? Or was, he going to be happy with second place?
I don't know. I equaled the score there at Bristol, so we're both even now. We're good. We're trying to be a little more respectful towards each other. Of course, we never intentionally do that stuff. We just race each other really hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but no, that was an amazing finish, battling him to the end. I thought he was going to get it, and I thought I had chewed up the tires, and he was just going to walk by me, but came down to a drag race to the end.
It's awesome, and I asked Chad the same question. How do you feel going into the Truck League? I mean, your team's pretty stacked. I mean, you think it's gonna go well?
I hope so. I don't want to sound too cocky about it, but I think we're going to be a force to reckon with. That's for sure. We've got you on the team as well this year, so you're going to show the boys what you got, and I think we're going to be one to contend with. That's for sure.
100%. I think you guys are going to be a very strong team. Now, I have kind of a two-part question for you, Bobby. So what was kind of like your mentality going when you went down pit road and after you stayed out 40 laps and then you overslid your pit box? Like, what was kind of the mentality? Like, how were you able to kind of weather the storm after making that mistake? And did you think that was a kind of a detrimental mistake? And also the next part to my question, it was you kept on hitting the wall. Like you kept on, it seemed like you kept on just driving it in way too hard and hitting the wall on the exit and the entry. You were flirting with that turn two wall, and I'm you pretty sure you hit every wall except for the turn three wall. So, kind of what was going on there?
So the pit stop, I was very frustrated with myself. I had done a few practice runs at it, but only after doing about 10 laps. I wasn't prepared for how shot my front tires were going to be. So I was a little too conservative, a little bit of slow run up to the entrance. And then, yeah, when I slid past, I was cursing at myself, slammed in reverse, got myself to the box, and I didn't know how detrimental it was going to be until those guys made their second pit stop. And then I realized I still had a sizable lead, so I was feeling pretty confident again. But I knew Chad was coming, so I was pushing, and I think I just pushed a little too hard. And especially when I saw that gap in the relative getting smaller and smaller, I was trying to drive the car harder than I should have been. And yeah, like you said, I kept flirting with that wall. I damaged the car a little bit on the last run there, but still managed to fight Chad off and stay ahead of him and keep the car in one piece.
Yep, 10-4. I mean, that was very, very strong driving there because I thought when you hit the wall going into turn three coming out, I thought that you were gonna be pretty much done, and then, or no, you hit the wall in turn one coming out, and then going into turn two, I thought Chad was just gonna be able to easily get by you, but kind of when did you know that you had the race there? Was it going into the entry of turn three, or was it coming out of turn three, or what was it when you crossed the finish line?
Well, especially when
I was feeling.
you both were doing the crossover move.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty confident coming out of two. Chad had cleared me down the stretch between one and two. I guess he didn't realize he had the room, so he didn't come over. So he had a real shallow entrance into two, and I was able to use all the track, and I just sent it. That was my only shot. So I was just praying that the tires were going to stick, and they did. I got on his inside, and I was going to rub him into that wall if I had to. But he let up, and he crossed me over, and he let up too much.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep. But anyways, great win tonight. Next week we will be racing at Concord Speedway, and you have yourself in prime position to be our race champion. What is going to be your mentality going into next week?
Stay alive. I feel like it's going to be an ugly race. Little miniature Pocono half-mile track. Probably going to be quite a few wrecks, so plan is to try to qualify well, put the practice in, stay up front if I can, and see how it goes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that is going to be the key to next week's championship race. I look forward to seeing you in that championship circle hosting up our trophy. Is there anyone you want to shout out after tonight's great dominant race from you, Bobby?
Shout out to you and Mr. Holmes for putting on the broadcast tonight. I gotta say big shout out to JJ and Chase. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them helping me out tonight. Shout out to the guys that are still here competing with us. You know, it's been a phenomenal season so far. Really excited to see how it finishes. And shout out to anybody that tuned in to watch this week.
Yep, 10-4. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our race winner, Bobby Mantle. He was able to come away with his first win of the season, a well-deserved, long-awaited win. And me personally, I knew it was coming. It was just when it was coming, and he was able to get himself one. And as I alluded to, it's just something about when that playoff word just appears in Bobby's head. He just Bobby and Chad, they just go up to another notch. And so good win from them tonight. And they will be competing next week in our championship race, our Global Racing League, Global Arca Racing Series finale at Concord Speedway. We'll be doing 150 laps. And stay tuned for next week. We will be back with you, ladies and gentlemen. And we look forward to seeing you there. Ronald Holmes, what do you think is gonna be the keys for next week's race?
Well, if it's a mini Pocono like everybody's talking about, it's definitely gonna come down to tires and fuel management. The best person that can save their tires is definitely gonna have better fuel mileage than everybody else.
Yeah, and that's what it's gonna come down to. It's just surviving and saving tires. I mean, this week we were fortunate enough not to get any cautions, but that's just not going to be the case for next week. These drivers are gonna go for it all next week, and we're gonna see that these drivers are gonna race like that. So
Oh,
so
it's definitely
very
gonna be, it's next week. It's definitely gonna be, it's not one for all. It's all for one. It's gonna be, I'm here, I'm in it to win it kind of mentality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that will do it for us tonight here at the Tricky Triangle 100. Bobby Mantle is our race winner tonight. We don't have anything else for you guys. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week. And from the global racing family, me and Ronald Holmes want to wish you a very, very safe night, and we will see you next week. Have a safe night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.